Welcome to the Genre of Your Life podcast, a show all about movies, TV, and walk of entertainment. Episode number 25. I am one of your hosts, Doug Jones. With me, as always, is my esteemed colleague, one of the best co-hosts ever, Mr. Joel Kindelin. How are you, my good sir?
I'm good. Life is slowly moving forward. Just been focused on me. I'm glad to be back. It always kills me taking a break from the show, but it's always needed. You know what I mean?
Yes, sir. No, I hear you. Yeah, that was, again, to our listeners, that was on me. I was moving apartments last week, so for a little, forgive me for the past little week hiatus of no shows, but we are back and better than ever, with giving you guys another fun episode as always. Those guys, you can find the show on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Amazon Music, or your favorite podcast platform of choice. And also, we have the full audio show on our YouTube page, youtube.com/Midway Avenue Productions. While you're on YouTube or Spotify, Apple Podcasts, whatever, leave a review, leave a rating, leave a comment. Helps us out so much. Hit that like button, hit that follow button. Helping us, grow our show. Spread the word about us. It really helps us a lot. So, as always, guys, thank you so much for your support.
Yes, and just a heads up, from now on our Instagram, we will be letting you guys know ahead of time if we do take a break from an episode or maybe 2 episodes, just to have you guys be up to date with what's happening with our episodes and our show.
Yeah, that reminds me of back. I'm gonna probably age myself, but like fucking what is it? MySpace. Your MySpace. My page is on vacation. My page is on. I'm away.
I forgot about that.
Dude, I was just like, I was watching I was watching Kick-Ass recently, and then Big Daddy by Nicolas Cage goes, put your MySpace on vacation. And I was like, wow, that's so true. Back in the day, you could put yourself on like vacation mode or away mode. I was like, wow. So when you said that, I was like, oh yeah, that was the thing back in the day. You could put yourself on like vacation mode. Which is funny. Man, I'm like, oh shit.
I remember MySpace. The biggest thing for me on my MySpace was Limp Bizkit. Like in my page is music because I had Limp Bizkit on it.
Limp Bizkit, man, rolling. Hey, keep rolling. Oh, dude,
I'm pretty sure that was the song.
Yeah, they remixed that. I went through a weird I don't know, like rabbit hole, like 2000s music maybe a few months ago during May. And I found like it was I think it was for the first Fast and Furious. It was Limp Bizkit rolling, but it had like DMX, it had Method Man, it had all these rappers. I was like, wow, this is a great remix. But I'm like, wow, you had a stack full of like OG, like really like some rappers on this song that you got famous for, and you kind of made it more like quote unquote like street for Fast and Furious with all these kind of like crazy like rappers. And I was like, hey, Limp Bizkit, good for you, man. You knew ahead of time how to like market yourself for a Fast and Furious movie.
Facts.
But hey, but it worked, man. But how are you, my friend? How's it going?
Oh, it's good, just been trying to keep myself entertained. Still unemployed, sadly, but I've been applying to jobs. Possible interviews soon.
Nice.
Your boy might be back into the world of Chicago very soon. But yeah, I've been okay. The hardest thing about it is like having so much time, and like even as a movie guy who you just love movies, eventually you either run out of things to watch mentally, like you hit that block where you're just like, I don't feel like watching this.
Yeah, dude, seriously, no, I agree with that. So
I
true.
could be on TikTok sending my homies like 100, 200
Oh yeah,
shit like every night, man. Just be like, once it hits 10 o'clock, I'm like, man, I don't feel like watching nothing. You know what I'm
Dude,
saying?
seriously,
So
me
it's just
too.
like
Me too. At 10 p.m. that 10 p.m. mark, you're like, all right, it's too late. We're watching a 2 hour movie. It's just too late.
facts, man. Like I recently have a obsession. Like more, it became more of a obsession. I had an interest in it, but now it's an obsession. It's this thing called Warhammer 40K.
Oh yeah,
Hopefully, we have some fans that are listening to this. Yeah, your boys joining the community. Uh, I probably won't be playing the tabletop game anytime soon. That'll probably be a future endeavor, and the minis will also be a future endeavor. What's his fucking name? Uh, Henry Cavill, right?
yep, yep. He's doing it.
Henry Cavill, he's a Warhammer 40K buff. Yes, he's big nerd. I didn't get into it because of him. I got into it because me and my homies played the Warhammer fantasy games, not 40K. But anyways, I've been watching fucking hour-long videos on YouTube because I'm just like I don't feel like watching shit. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I
Because
get that.
I gotta wait till every Saturday night to a new episode of One Piece. You know, man.
Oh, true. Yeah,
Yeah, that shit's been popping. The anime community has been hating on the new form for Luffy, but you know, fuck 'em. I'm just enjoying what I watch.
no, dude. No, I remember. I think that's what like Henry Cavill's like. That was his first. Like he got fired from Superman the next week. He was like, he's going to do 40K on Amazon. I was like, hey man, he bounced right back. He got his next project already lined up. So that's sick. Yeah, I mean, hopefully he gets some good team to do that series. I feel like he's a very talented actor. I feel like if he gets like a good kind of like director or writing staff around him, he's going to be in good hands. So I'm very curious to see how that show gets executed and put on Amazon. I
Yeah,
wonder.
because it's gonna be a very difficult thing. I'll say that
Yeah,
because the Warhammer universe, bro,
yeah,
like is so much bigger than Star Wars, I feel like, when it comes to content
interesting.
that a lot of people know. Like I love Star Wars and Star Wars is huge too. But like if you deep dive into like what you could truly put into a movie, I feel like it's huge because in Warhammer 40K there are billions, and I mean billions of worlds. Like they haven't even discovered a lot of them, and like there's just so much lore to it. Like
Yeah,
you know, like with Star Wars there's a few main characters. I don't want to say a few to make it sound like there's a minimal, but you know what I mean when it comes to how many things you could do based off of like a group of people or one person. It's not as much as fucking Warhammer 40K, because there's a plethora of characters that you could just base the show or a movie off of just following them. Like it's crazy, like it's insane. So I'm curious, one, to see how he will do it, what he will focus on, like who specifically,
yeah.
and the interesting thing is, like, I feel like with the Warhammer community, they'll be excited, but they'll also be like critiquing it like deeply. I probably won't as much because again, I'm still learning. So like by the time it comes out, I'll still be like, ah, it's good to me. Like, you know?
Yeah.
Like, but yeah, no, the biggest thing for me, which is what I'm gonna be interested in, is how they're gonna do the power armor. You know what I mean? Because their Space Marines have armor, like they're big dudes, like they're 9, 10 feet tall motherfuckers, ripping and shredding through, you know, demons and aliens and shit.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
so. Like my when I think about that, I'm just like, I wonder if they're gonna be able to get the heavy stomp correct. Like that's
Oh
it.
yeah.
That's it. But it's a huge galaxy. It's a huge world because of how many books there are in the Warhammer 40. Like, dude, people like listening to it, like different like fans of it, and be like, which book should I get? Like, there's like there's so many books. There's so many books, and it's one of those things of like, no matter how long or no how much you love this, you will not know everything.
Oh,
You
I
know?
bet. Oh, I bet. And I think they're smart. Again, I don't know too much about. I know a little bit of it, but I think they're smart enough to not make this a movie. They're making this a series, so you can flesh out the lore and the mythology of everything, more
Yeah.
complex and more with don't feel rushed. And also too, I feel like honestly, I think they were smart to go to Amazon. I think Amazon right now has been killing it with shows, and they really know how to like, with stuff like Invincible or The Boys, or Zeta's watching The Summer Turned Pretty right now. She loves that show. I really have not seen really like. I feel like Amazon really cares about the IP they acquire as well as their shows in general. I think they really did so well with Invincible and The Boys. And
Yeah,
the list
which
goes on.
season
Oh,
two's coming out soon
yeah,
for
man,
Invincible.
I can't wait.
Which, yeah, I'm excited. I forgot Seth Rogen's even in it.
He produces that. He produces The Boys. That's crazy to me, man. Like he
Yeah, I
really is
love
like,
like Seth Rogen. Here's one of the things that Seth Rogen loses me, and then he
yeah.
continues to have my love grow with him. Is that he and I feel like I keep interrupting him. So sorry.
No, you're good. Of course, this is the show.
uh, yes. Um, is that he truly does like he produces on the things that he has an interest in, which he is a nerd too.
Yeah,
Like I feel like a lot of people forget that Seth Rogen is genuinely a nerd. You know what I mean? But
yeah,
also like he's producing it to make sure that it will come out good. You know what I mean? Like with Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, I haven't seen it, but from what you say and like how it's getting received, like I feel like that's doing well. You know what I mean? And
yeah.
just like he puts his time in, because he like he's not one of those big figureheads who are just like money, money, money. At the same time, he's just like, yeah, I'm gonna make money, but I'm also gonna make sure that this does well.
Yeah.
Which you can't hate Seth Rogen for that. Like even if you don't like his acting or the things he's been in, like you can't deny the fact that this man truly cares about his craft and his art. Like it's fucking phenomenal.
Oh yeah, for sure. You might, yeah, or might even like his politics, or like, or even his house, or even his pottery stuff. But no, I
Not gonna lie, I'm probably gonna buy some shit in the future. Not the vase, but more like just fucking smoking stuff. You know what I'm saying?
yeah.
But yeah.
I heard. I forgot who it was. Oh, I think it was. What it was? It was Ike Barinholtz. He was in Neighbors. He played his friend in Neighbors. He's in all this stuff. He was one of the dads. He was
Oh
the
yeah, yeah, yeah,
yeah,
yeah,
the
yeah.
single
From
dad in
Cockblock.
Blockers.
Yeah,
Yeah, yeah,
yeah.
Blockers. And he tells a story about his dad. So like his dad, so he was I think about Neighbors 2 or some kind of premiere that Seth Rogen was in, or he produced that Ike Barinholtz was in too. And his dad came to the premiere as well. And Seth Rogen, every premiere he goes to, I mean, even Mose told me the story one time that the Emmys, Seth Rogen was in the alley just smoking a joint, or blunt, whatever. And Ike Barinholtz tells the story of like how like his dad went to the premiere, and he was saying, "Oh, Seth is there, like." "Ooh, I want to try some of his weed." And Ike Barinholtz is like, "No, Dad, do not smoke his weed. Trust me, you do not." He goes, "No, no, no." And so at the after party, whatever, and Ike Barinholtz's dad goes, "Please," and I goes, "Fine, one hit, Dad, just one hit." And he sees his dad like light up with Seth Rogen, whatever. And then 2 hours goes by, him and his brother go, "Hey, where's Dad at?" And they went through like the entire hotel to find their dad. And like they went through all these hotel rooms, whatever. They get to the last hotel room they haven't checked yet, and they see their dad in the chair. And all you hear is, I need to go home now. I need to go home." And like I think it was on Kimmel or Fallon, but the way Ike tells the story, it's hilarious because he goes, "I told you, Dad, don't smoke Seth Rogen's space weed," and I was like, "Oh my god, I can't even imagine." I
Bro,
can't even
like
imagine.
Seth Rogen smokes weed with Snoop Dogg. Yeah, I mean
Oh god.
the only other person you don't want to smoke, well, like you do want to smoke with them, but you gotta be careful. The only other person that's ever like smoked with Snoop Dogg that put him on his ass was it Bob Dylan or some shit like that, wasn't it? Or
Uh,
fuck, I
it
forget his
was
name.
Willie Nelson.
Willie
Willie
Nelson.
Nelson. Yeah, Willie Nelson.
If you're new to the show, I'm really bad with names. Get used to it. There's gonna be
Willie
times where
Nelson.
you hear me be like, "Doug, what's his motherfucking name?" like, uh, but yeah, Willie Nelson, man. But other than that, like, I'd love to smoke with them in the future, but it'd be like it wouldn't. I wouldn't stay because I'd be put on my ass nowadays. But like maybe back in when I get my money right, I'll be smoking like I used to. So yeah,
Have your tolerance up too.
yeah, my
You
tolerance, my drinking tolerance, man, that shit needs to go too, man.
know,
So ashamed of myself.
it reminds me. I remember in the second Ted where like they're meeting the lawyer for the first time, and they're smoking weed with her, and then she goes, yeah,
Oh
this drink,
yeah,
the
the
drink's called help me get how do I get home, whatever, and they smoke it, and like they cut to Mark Wahlberg. Mark Wahlberg's like, guys, on the wall, he goes, how do I get home? Help! And like they do a little montage of like them studying for like their trial, whatever, and they see him again on the wall, like, help! How do I get home? I don't know why. If I watch it, it cracks me up so much. I was like, I've seen something a million times, but it still makes me laugh every time I see it. I'm like, it's so stupid, but it's so funny.
It's fucking hilarious, man. Oh my
Oh my
goodness.
god, dude!
Yeah.
Speaking of funny movies, man, we're celebrating some really big anniversaries, man. So I'm gonna start off with
Yes,
this one first.
sir.
Start off with this one first. This is kind of like kind of fresh in my mind. Dude, Scott Pilgrim turns 13 years old today, man. That's crazy. That movie turns 13 years old. I mean, it's such a beloved movie, but if you remember, that movie came out and no one saw that movie. I mean, no one saw that movie when it came out. That movie was
I
a
saw that
big.
movie.
Oh, I did too.
It seems
I did
like
too.
it seems like we always go to movies that no one gives a fuck about.
Yeah, dude,
This is why
seriously.
we made this show. So y'all see movies.
Oh, straight up. But movies, like literally, like everyone I talked to, like whether when you and I were in high school, when I was interning, when I was in London, when I was in LA, or even in college, everyone's like, "Oh, I fucking love Scott Pilgrim vs. the World," and I was like, "Huh." And it's kind of like one of those kind of like Hot Rod, where it's so beloved years later, like even more beloved years later, because it's like I guess more people saw it as the years went on. But also, I do think it came again. This is like back in 2010, and I mean, it's still kind of that way now with movies. If you have a movie coming out in the middle to end of August, chances are no one's seeing it because it's a really shit time for movies. People are going back to school, college is starting again, people are kind of ending their vacation. So like, unless you have a big movie coming out the first week of August, that's when you're kind of like, okay, cool, we'll bring some seats in, we'll bring some audiences and great. But really, when it comes out like mid to end of August, you really have like right now, like there's nothing coming out right now, and it kind of shows of like, wow, there's like nothing coming out. It's kind of like the dead weeks of summer of like the last movie season, so of the summer movie season. So yeah, man. 13 years later, man. I think this movie holds up. Would you agree? I think this movie is just fucking phenomenal in every sense of the word. Whether it's the acting, Edgar Wright's direction and writing, the humor, the style, the high stylized action. It just to me, like you watch it over and over again, it never gets old for a movie that's been out for 13 plus years. So, what do you think, my friend? Do you think it still holds up to this day?
Oh, yes, highly. It was trending on TikTok for a while that people started bringing up again. And I saw a TikTok about the what is it called? The vinyl for it,
Oh
which
yeah,
is super expensive and it's a
uber
long wait
expensive.
time. A long wait time. It's slowly a lot of people didn't see it originally, but it slowly became popular over time to now where it's like a fucking, name brand, a name movie that a lot of people know about and love. So,
Yep.
like it still holds up with our generation and the newer generation, watching it for the first time. Like it's still really, really good. So, that movie's great. It's funny. It's a lovable movie. There's no real way you can truly hate that
You
shit.
can't. Yeah, you can't. And I tell you, and really, man, it shows like I don't know. I feel like Edgar Wright, who's done Shaun of the Dead, Hot Fuzz, World's End, Scott Pilgrim, Baby Driver, Let's Not in Soho, really has not had a bad movie under his resume. And yeah, people talk about Christopher Nolan, Tarantino, Greta Gerwig, Jordan Peele, everyone, but I feel like you talk about Edgar Wright, really, he's not had a miss in his fucking filmography. And it just shows of like, wow, he's always bringing something cool, new and fresh to the table, whether it's Baby Driver, whether it's the Cornetto trilogy with Hot Fuzz and Shaun of the Dead and World's End, or again Scott Pilgrim. That was not a very well known graphic novel, um, um, but he really kind of made something his own. And you look back on it, you're just like, wow, 13 years later, it was ahead of its time. I truly believe it was ahead of
Mm.
its time. I think if
I
it was released maybe a few years later, it would have been like this huge thing. But I think it came out just really at the wrong time, unfortunately, which kind of breaks my heart saying that 13 years later.
Yeah. But
Sucks.
it happens, and we're here to push for people to go see movies, even if they're not sure they'll like it. It's fine if you don't, but give movies chances. And if you feel like it's good and other people are hating on it for no reason, go see it anyways. In Chicago, we had this weatherman on the, what is it, Channel 9 News,
Oh,
WGN.
the critic. Oh yeah, dude, the critic. Yeah,
The who was
Dean Richards.
also Dean
Dean
Richards,
Richards.
who did
Yeah,
critics work on WGN,
that's
and
right. Yeah.
he would talk about movies like Despicable Me. He was like, didn't like it, this and that. He gave it a low score. And me and Doug were like, we're gonna go see it anyways, because we didn't trust him. Like, we didn't like his reviews. We loved a lot of the movies that he hated, and
They
some of the
still do.
movies yeah, some of the movies he doesn't he liked, we liked,
Hate it.
and others we hated. You know what I mean? So
Flame
like,
breakers.
you guys, again, we always say, like, don't be afraid to voice your opinions to us or
Oh
to
yeah.
anyone in general, or you know what I'm saying? Like, we're always telling you guys, go see a movie whether other people like it or not. It's based off of your own opinion. Opinions are, Doug, you're always good. Fucking this saying. What do you
No,
usually say?
it's your opinions, or it's just like it's your movie. I feel like it's all film is subjective. You can like a movie trip. It's if you don't like something, it's fine. You shouldn't be chastised. We live in this era now. I think you talk about on the phone a few weeks ago. You and I, Joe, is like being a movie fan is now a trend, and it's like what happened to the era of like being like a genuine like I love cinema. I love movies. I'll see anything. Now it's like, oh, I love movies too. The trend. It's more of a trend now, and it's like, yeah, and I kind of blame TikTok for that too. A little bit of social media. I do. I definitely blame that for that. But it's we live. I think now more than again. Remember, me and Nick posted our review, our out of theater reaction for Indiana Jones, and we got shot on. Where they're like, "Oh man, fuck these guys," whatever. And me and Nick were like, "Okay, cool. You gave us the view. Thank you. Like, we appreciate the view regardless. Like, it's fine. But again, it's we. I think now it's just like film and movies have become the thing of like, you didn't like this movie? How dare you? And it's like, okay, I didn't like it, so what? It's fine. Or, oh, I liked again, example, as you all know, I liked the Suicide Squad 2016 version more than the James Gunn one. People are like, are you insane? Movie is garbage. And I'm like, yeah, okay, so I can still like it. That's fine. I won't judge you for something. But we live this thing now. It's very kind of like, again, film Twitter. It's just like, man, like you say one thing, it's just like, oh my god, you get shot on. Like, dude, they're going after Bradley Cooper, man, for his nose and the Mastro trailer.
Which
I'm like,
is, like, I like what he did, because he decided to change. He decided
just
to make a character and change his features for that character. It's not Bradley
yeah,
Cooper. You know what I
it's
mean? Like,
not.
Brad Cooper's the actor, but he's not the character, and he wanted to make you see that this is someone fucking different. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
So I love that. So, like, again, don't be afraid. Don't follow the masses. Follow
exactly.
your own
Yes,
heart, because there are people who love the movie The Room, not The Disaster Artist, The Room. You know, they love that shit. The people have gone to theaters to see it, and they
yeah,
love it. They're like, "Yo, this movie's shit, but I love it." You know what I mean? There's movies that your parents probably love, where you're just like, ugh, and like, if you have kids, your kids probably love, and you're like, ugh. But this is vice versa as well. There's movies we love, and you guys are like, they're fucking crazy.
oh yeah,
Like,
all the time. Yeah,
you know
trust
what I
me.
mean?
Yeah,
But it's
all the
like, yeah,
time.
we love these movies. We don't give a fuck. Like, we love that you guys come and listen to us and stuff like that. But at the same time, like, whether you agree with us or not, we're gonna love the movies, and we push you to go see movies that you love or you'll hate. It doesn't really matter, as long as you get out there and you have your own opinion on the movie that isn't influenced by anyone else. You know what I mean?
Yeah, absolutely. It was no, it well said, my friend. Seriously, like a movie. Don't feel like peer pressure. Like, oh, I don't know. If you don't like a movie, it's fine. Don't even. It's that's the beauty of film. Not all film works for you. Some does, some doesn't. That's okay. It's what makes you happy, what you enjoy, and that's the only thing that matters. Speaking of the
Rem-
room. Go ahead.
Remember, sorry, I was
Go
gonna make
ahead.
a compare. Remember that, like, being a nerd back in the day, like liking Star Wars, liking anime, like Star Trek and this and that, that wasn't popular. A lot of people
No,
look at you crazy for being like, "Oh man, I can't wait to like somehow make my own lightsaber at home," this and that, where it's like you were made fun of and this and that. Like it wasn't a popular thing. Like the
no,
movies were popular among the nerdy crowd, but in general, like it is now, it was not liked. You know what I
no.
mean? A lot of people gave you shit for certain things that you liked back in the day that are really now very popular. Like I was made fun of for liking anime so much. Like people made fun of me, it called me lame. Like I was a lame kid at school. I don't give a shit. You know what I mean? Where it's like now it's widely liked. So again, like views on things changes over time and opinions on things changes over time, whether it's your own or they might stay the same forever. You never know. I still love Star Wars. I still love anime. That hasn't changed. What I'm saying is don't let the masses stop you from enjoying something, because now Star Wars is so huge, Star Trek is so huge, anime is so huge. Back in the day, there's probably people listening that were like, yeah, I got made fun of. And I don't give a fuck because I loved it. So
Yeah,
do what you love.
and like I
Don't
said,
let
man,
other
it's
people bother you.
yes, sir. It's again, like when you and I talked on the phone a few weeks ago, we literally said it's become now a trend. Like, and I guess that TikTok has been really a big part of that too. Social media
Hmm.
in general, Twitter, Instagram. It's like, if you're a film fan, you're a film fan. But don't be one of those people who are like, yeah, I like movies and only talk about Marvel movies. Well, then you're not a movie fan. You're a Marvel fan, and that's totally fine. Find your group, find your kind of thing. But I think now it's like if you're a film fan or a film buff, and you only talk about DC or Marvel or Star Wars, yeah,
Or
I think you're
Christopher Nolan.
for no, yeah, right, for no, exactly. Love the man. But if you can't talk about those kind of movies, it's like, yeah, you like those movies, but again, I think we see a lot of influencers and social media stars truly be like, hey, this is it's again like I'm a film fan. Look at me like as a badge almost. And it's like it's not a badge. It's movies really kind of if movies really define who you are, define who you are, define like how you see life, how you see different perspectives. That's being a film lover, film lover, in my personal opinion. But when you hop on like, yeah, I'm gonna do this, the trend, the trend, yeah, trends are cool and all, but don't hop on the trend just to like again be with the masses, like you said, because you know why? It's there's so much more film out there than just Christopher Nolan movies or Star Trek or Star Wars or Disney or Marvel, whatever. If you really open up your catalog of stuff, and and I've met so many people, whether working in film, working in entertainment, going to film school, whatever, even being in high school with you, the people like, I only watch these kind of movies. Okay, that's fine. That's your taste, that's your preference. But I do feel like yeah, exactly. Don't feel like you have to like, oh, again, go with the masses, whatever. But there's such great film out there that like even I for a while was like, I'm not gonna watch these kind of movies, and I was like, oh wow, like I'm talking about older, like way older movies, whatever. But if you open your eyes to certain things, you see more things. Kind of opens your kind of like your taste of stuff too. And it's really cool to have you kind of like your taste expand of like, oh, like I haven't seen this movie from the '70s or the '80s or stuff like that. But also again, like you said too, I had film classes too, where like, oh, you like The Dark Knight? Are you pretentious? It's like, okay, bro, like, kiss my ass.
Relax.
I'm like, okay, Shakespeare, shut the hell up. I'm like, like, hit the road. I'm like, come on. So it's like you shouldn't. To your point, Joe. Don't feel like it'd be put down like, oh, you like something that, but also don't be the person that puts people down too. Like, oh, you like
Yeah.
these movies. And if Nick was here, Moses was here, they would know who I'm talking about exactly. Don't be like those people that like, oh, you like oh you like that movie, or my biggest thing, my biggest pet peeve too, I really don't like this. Oh, you like that movie? That was so bad, so stupid. Have you seen the movie? No. Then why the fuck are you talking? Like, shut the hell up. See the movie first, and then come back to me. I don't know what it is about that when people say, oh, you liked Spider-Man No Way Home. Yeah, the movie was terrible. Oh, why? Well, I didn't see the movie. Then what the hell are you talking about? Then you didn't see the movie. Then so shut the fuck up. Like really, like don't shut the hell up. Like don't. It just really, I see that a lot, even at work, even in interning in film school. It was like, dude, like, oh, I hated this movie. Oh,
Right.
I like to challenge people. I like to ask me, hey, what didn't work for you? I want to
Hmm.
hear your perspective. And when they go,
Right.
oh, I don't know, I didn't see it. Then what? Why do you feel the need to like be like that? You're just putting out something that I liked or I enjoyed. It's like, come on now. It really like I don't know. It's just really kind of it's very snobbish and it's very like oh like put you down. So I don't know. Don't be that guy, pal. Don't be that guy. You know,
Don't be that
it's
guy. You know what
it
I mean?
film. Yeah,
It's love what you want to love. Like I said before,
yeah, exactly.
where it's like, dude, just enjoy it. Don't hate on it. You haven't seen
Enjoy
it.
it.
You know what I mean? There's movies that I know for sure I wouldn't like, and I don't go see it. And Doug knows this.
Yeah,
He's seen those movies where it's like, I don't. I feel like I won't like it. And I see it later on down the line. Probably when it's not in theaters anymore. But or sometimes I have seen it in theaters where it's like I don't think I'm gonna like this movie, and I was right. But at the same time, I'm not gonna be like, man, that movie was shit. Did you see it? No, not yet. Like just like I haven't seen it because I don't feel like I like it. That's the thing where it's like it's fine if you don't think you'll like it, say that, but don't
yeah,
don't discredit people without seeing it first. You know what I mean? Don't discredit it, and because that puts not only does that put off people from being wanting to go see it, but also it it also just sort of takes away from the people who did work on the movie. There's a lot of movies I've seen where I didn't like the movie, and me and Doug have had conversations about those movies where we're just like cinematography was great, the writing was great, it was the acting that might have been, or the story or
yeah.
whatever, where it's like we still give credit to these people that worked real fucking hard on it. So
No,
don't
yeah,
discredit someone just because you don't think you'll like it or you're someone you follow that like if we don't like a movie we will tell you but check it out because you guys might like it, so don't
yeah.
don't take our word for 100% and be like fuck this movie blah blah blah. Don't shit talk a movie unless you saw it and you fucking hate it, then that's understandable, but just
Exactly.
don't be that person, you know what I mean? Still go
Exactly.
see movies. Also, for the newer generation, go to an old store like a fucking thrift store and find a VHS and buy it and then watch old movies on it because it's still pretty good quality. Not gonna lie, I grew up on VHS.
Yeah, you
Honestly,
good?
I watched VHS movies. Like we still have a VHS player here. Like
Oh,
we
nice.
connected and stuff. Yeah, we still have VHS. Like fucking old movies. Like fucking was it the fucking dinosaur movie? Land Before Time.
Classic.
Those are still classic. You know, VHS movies still hold up. Like, they're not the best. Like, they're not looking 4K, blah blah blah, but they're still really well made movies, and you'll like the quality. Fucking buy a VHS, motherfuckers.
Uh,
Just
no,
wanted to
yeah,
throw that in there.
no. Seriously, if you go to any kind of like record exchange, like seriously anything, it's cool to like see like what they still have in physical media. Like I
Thrift
went to something recently,
stores,
thrift store. Yeah, oh, dude,
yeah.
every thrift store I've been to, man.
Thrift store
Oh
has so
God.
many VHSs, man. You know what I'm saying? Like we have VHS from thrift stores constantly still. We still got our old VHS. Like man, I'm pretty sure we got The Godfather on VHS.
Yeah, that's cool. I know my parents have
Yeah.
features somewhere. It's like you never know if you can like play. Just like the, it's like a blast from the past. You go back in time. We're like, oh, this is what it was like. You know, the grain and everything. You're putting it in. It's oh man,
Yeah.
it's
But I'm pushing for you guys to get VHS, newer generation to get VHS. You guys are probably like, what the fuck is a VHS? I know I'm not that old, but I'm still that old. To see old movies is easier than try to find them on streaming service. Like literally, just go to a
oh
movie
true,
exchange,
yeah,
go to a thrift store, buy a VHS, buy some old VHS movies, even if they're not super popular movies, buy them, right? Buy them and watch them. Like, cause then it'll just be easier to do that. Like, you can honestly find, like, especially if you're a Disney kid, right, and you like want to see like Pocahontas or whatever, and I don't give a shit, like the old version, it's like fucking buy VHS. You know what I'm saying? Or like other movies that you've never heard of. Like, go check them out. That's how you can broaden your spectrum of movies. You know? So yeah, that's why I'm pushing for people to buy VHS. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, and you know me, like again, as you probably heard in other episodes, I still to this day, I still, I still buy. You know, man, I haven't been bought as much because I've been trying to like save a bit money, especially with moving. Was like, I still,
Facts.
it's not as big as it used to be. I think, when I moved to Phoenix, even living in Chicago, still like I used to go to Best Buy all the time. I used to buy a few DVDs here and there, but now it's becoming more of like you can buy them on Amazon mostly, or you can buy them on eBay, or go to like Joel said too, go to Goodwill or go to a record exchange. Like, in Phoenix we have Zia's, but if you go to like really cool, looking for in your area, whether it's Bull Moose, Zia's, or um, there's certain places in each state you should now have like people sell their own movies. You can get like a brand new 4K for like $5, or a lightly used 4K for $5, or whether you'll go to a bookstore too, like half price books in your area, stuff like that across the country. It's so cool, like what you might find. Like I found some like really cool stuff. I like, wow, this is out of print for years. I almost paid scalper price for this or reseller price for this. This is insane. So you never know what you might find, which is really cool. It's the hunt. I remember during COVID too. I'll be like, cool, like I'm gonna go to Goodwill or go to this record exchange, see what I can find or whatever, and see what I can pick up, because it's like, people are giving up physical media more and more with streaming still kind of being on the rise, even though I don't really support streaming as much anymore. But it's really cool to see, like, again, you never know what you might find, and having a collection is really cool because, again, like Skynet and Terminator, if one day all the streaming services go down, what are you gonna have? VHSs, like Joel said, or DVDs or Blu-rays.
DVD. Yeah.
Still gonna be there, man. It's still the most reliable thing. And until this day, like I will literally go out of my way to go to my other room, get the out of the shelf, put it in my Xbox or PlayStation, or if you have a physical player, the actual 4K player, great, awesome. Or you can even go to Goodwill, dude. I used to have Goodwill on Tuesday or Monday, whatever, and I saw people are giving up these like really good 3D Blu-ray 4K players at Goodwill for like 20
Oh,
bucks.
dude, remember the ones that you could put like 5 to 6 fucking discs in them? They're
Yeah,
fucking
man.
so dirt cheap, man. Remember when we were young, we were like,
Crazy.
man, yo, growing up, that shit, you were like, damn, your parents must have spent a lot of fucking money on this because that shit wasn't cheap.
Yeah.
Now it's cheap.
No.
Like, fucking, what the fuck?
Dude, straight up, man. It's really like now. It's like it's really become this thing of like, wow, this is like you can do this for like nothing. Cost you maybe a couple bucks, if even. Like you're not gonna be breaking the bank. So I don't know, man. It's really cool to like, it's just it's the physical media of like you never know, this will never go away. I mean, the VHS DVD might break down after 20, 30 years, but if you're lucky enough, it'll be with you the rest of your life because again, the beauty of physical media is that's always gonna be with you, no matter if someone takes something off of streaming services because they're not with the times, quote unquote, with the times, or they're pulling off because they don't want to pay the licensing fee to put on streaming services. Guess what? That DVD, VHS, Blu-ray will always be there no matter what. So you never.
Also, sorry.
Go ahead.
This is just a PSA. For anyone who is a fucking reseller, you better not fucking ruin this
Oh
for
my
people.
god,
Fuck you, you
dude, don't get
piece
me
of shit.
started.
You piece of shit. You know how many great movies we can't fucking get because you want to resell it for a ridiculous amount because you're just like, it's retro, it's old. Fuck you, piece of shit. Stay away from our fucking movies.
Dude, dude, seriously, like I got into like I really got I got really got into collecting really more in college, and I was like
Yeah.
looking
You
around like,
were in
oh,
high school, man.
high school
I
too, high
remember
school
in
too.
high school. Dude, you showed me that store off of, what was it? The Blue Line
Yeah,
Damon,
yeah, yeah,
right?
yeah, yeah. That was a cool
Blue
store.
Line
Yeah,
Damon. It's like a few blocks right from the Blue Line Damon. It's still there, just in a different location. So if you guys are movie people and you guys are being like, what the fuck? Go Damon Blue Line, walk down where all the fucking stores are, you know what I'm saying? Like towards, was it Insomnia Cookies? Go
yeah.
past the Insomnia Cookies and you'll eventually find it. There's an old retro gaming store. Go a little further, you'll find that fucking movie place.
It's still
Anyways,
there. It's called the
it's still
Exchange.
there. Yeah,
The
the
Exchange,
exchange.
and
The
cool store.
exchange, yes.
It's a very cool
This
store.
motherfucker put me on to that place. I haven't been in ages, but I do really need to go once I get a job
Yeah.
again. There's old movies there, man. You like, bro, I was in that neighborhood so long. Like you and you're the one that put me onto that store. You're like, bro, there's a store over here, and then they moved to the location that they're at now, which is even bigger, which you showed me, and which is like literally like across the street, like a few stores down, which is like it's so huge with old movies for cheap is great. Fucking love it.
You can buy so much stuff. Yeah, man. I remember you, me, and Sebastian went there one time, and yeah, dude, it was. Yeah, I'm glad. I'm glad they beat. I'm glad the COVID didn't get the best of them. I'm glad they're still there because it's a really, really. They have like their collection is absurd of stuff, man.
Yeah.
And if you're in the
Um,
Phoenix area, like how I am, literally, Zia's is the place to go. Asylum Records is a cool place to go, but yeah, Zia's really has some cool stuff. You're just like, or Half Price Books and Bookman's. I recommend in the Phoenix area because there's so many like they have rows upon rows upon rows of stuff that I've gotten. And I'm like, wow, this is crazy. I'm buying stuff that's like being resold for like hundreds of dollars, maybe for $20, $30 top. I never paid more than that ever, and I'm just like, wow, it's absurd. But yeah, like Joel said, if you're in the Chicago area, the Exchange is a really cool store that has a huge catalog of stuff. It's like, wow, this is absurd. It's crazy what they have, man. Seriously, but yeah, I really hope that if you get into collecting, it's fun. But it's a cool collecting. But you
Wait,
know what,
isn't the
too?
Exchange a video game place?
Yeah, they have video games, CDs, vinyl, music, DVDs, they have
Oh
everything.
yeah.
They have
Yeah, I
everything,
forgot
man.
about
It's a
that.
cool.
Yes,
It's right off
sir.
Damon. Literally, you go off the Damon Blue Line. There's literally you literally go down the street. It's Crumble Cookies. Crumble Cookies is right there. You said it, man. Crumble, and right across from it is the Exchange, man, and it's still there all those years later. It's just a really cool store. Um, and I remember you remember my hunt. I remember I think it was my hunt for this one too. It was got more into collecting like steel books, which are kind of like really cool, like packaging for movies. You can buy them in 4K or Blu-ray. And these used to be like kind of mass market a lot more. People weren't buying them as much, but now like as the years went on, they became more valuable. Everyone wanted steel books. They have really cool designs because like they have cooler, different designs more than like their standard 4K and Blu-ray. And I got more into them maybe probably sophomore years or junior year, and I didn't get it. You're a college kid. You don't have money. You're broke. You don't have a lot of stuff to do. You get a lot of money to pay for buying movies and books, whatever. So I didn't buy stuff as much because I was like, again, I don't have a job, so I don't like save my money. And the Blade Runner 2049 came out. I was obsessed with that movie that came out. I still am. I love the movie so much. And they had a really cool steelbook for it. And I didn't know what steelbook was. I was getting new to collecting whatever, but everyone wanted this one. Like, oh, that's so cool. And this thing went away like just like that. I'm like, whoa! Like they went away so fast. And Jabal knows that I was on eBay and Mercari for months of like or Amazon, like looking, do I buy the resale price for $100? And Joel was like, don't do it, don't do it. You're better than this. Don't buy that. I was like, I can't. I I gotta buy it, please. I'm like, I gotta buy it. And I waited for like literally months, and it wasn't until maybe like 7 months after it came out, I got it for like I got it for like I bought it for like a resale price that was reasonable, like maybe $5 above market price, which is fine. $5, yeah, $5 was one thing, but like I wouldn't. Again, I almost thought about paying $100 over the retail price, but it was like I don't know, maybe I bought it for like 30, $40, and I still have my collection as my probably my most prized possession in my collection of steelbooks. No, I got a few other ones maybe up there too, but it's probably my favorite one because I was like, I went through hell and back just to find this one. And I'm so proud of having that because it's a fucking cool ass steelbook. For our listeners, look up the Blade Runner 2049 4K steelbook. It's the gray front with Ryan Gosling with his car, and the back is Harrison Ford. It's an orange background with Harrison Ford with a gun. It is fucking beautiful. It's a work of art, and it's such a cool one to have. So if you're going to collecting, we both recommend, have a budget. Stay within that budget. It's a very cool, really cool hobby. I recommend this guy on YouTube and a podcast named Films at Home. Dude from Boston. He's no Boston or maybe East Coast. He has little small channels during COVID. Like but yeah, he's a collector himself. He has a home theater set up, whatever. He has a whole collection of stuff. He's a horror guy. Listen to his YouTube and TikToks and podcasts because this dude really knows everything about home theater, physical media, collecting. All the updates of like, hey, like this is on sale now, go get this, whatever. It films at home. Yeah, named Jeff. He's a really cool dude. I've been following him for a while now. I highly recommend listening to his channel because he really knows. Like it's kind of like a dictionary or like a manual how-to guide to physical media, VHS, Blu-ray player, 4K, DVD. and he knows everything. And I follow the guy. Literally, I watch all his videos. He knows so much. It's really cool to follow his kind of his growth, because during COVID he was kind of like the small YouTube channel. Now he has over like 100,000 subscribers. His channel blew the fuck up during the pandemic. But he's really cool insights and commentary on certain movies. Should you buy an upgrade for a 4K of an older movie? Should you not? Should you wait on keep the Blu-ray? He's really cool comparison videos too. So yeah, Films at Home, Jeff, really cool page to follow. He knows a lot of stuff about home video and physical media. With
Yes,
that,
sir.
with that said, another one before our review tonight. Well, my review tonight, dude. One of our favorite movies, a movie that is so controversial, quote unquote, to this day.
And we still called it.
Every day, Tropic Thunder turns 15 years old, my friend. 15 years old.
15.
And
That's crazy. So that means I was 12 when that movie came out, man. God
yeah.
damn.
And I I was late to the game seeing that, 'cause I was old enough to watch it. I think I watched it maybe on my iPod Touch or my iPad when I was like, I want to say 13, maybe 12, 13. I remember my dad watching it, and he goes, no, you gotta go. I'm like, what? It's what? So I couldn't watch it. But I remember watching it on my iPad when I was like 13, 14, high school, maybe middle school. And everyone was telling me, oh yeah, you gotta watch Tom Cruise. And I was like, I remember the movie, I was like, Tom Cruise was in this movie. And sure enough, the credits, it was like Tom Cruise is Les Grossman. And I said, no way that's Tom Cruise. I was like, no way that's Tom Cruise. And I knew Downey Jr. was Kirk Lazarus, obviously. Because I remember, I think
yes.
there's a picture of me when I was a kid at the movie theater, and the poster behind me. I had this picture somewhere. I found maybe it's my parents' like photo album, whatever. But literally, there's a picture of me, and the background is this black dude, like has a crazy look on his face and smiling with a cigar in his mouth, and it says Downey Jr. And I was like, that is an Iron Man. And sure enough, I was like, wait, what? And this would be when you're 10. When I was 10 when that came. Yeah, you were 12. I was 10 when that came out, and I was like, what? I mean, I saw Iron Man with my grandma. That's not him, and I was like, kind of like blown away. And I was like, what? Then I watched the movie 2 or 3 years later, and I remember watching this on my iPad, and I was just like, holy shit, this movie is something else. And damn, man.
I did see it in theaters. Sadly, my parents didn't take me to that one, but we did buy the DVD. So I had the DVD. I think I still have the DVD. I don't remember, but fucking dude, I would have that movie on repeat because I would die fucking laughing. I would die laughing. You know what I mean? And eventually, me and you started quoting it, just like. What do you mean, you people? What do you mean, you people?
Or he goes, we're supposed to be a unit. Suck my unit.
Suck my unit. Our favorite one, which is obviously fucking Tom Cruise, is just like, all right, what's your name? We're Crouching Dragon. All right, Crouching Fuckface.
Take a big step back and literally fuck
your own face.
I'm talking scorched earth, motherfucker. I will massacre you.
I will fuck you up.
And he goes, we gotta negotiate with terrorists. They all start clapping.
Oh, yeah, wait, what do you say? He's like, oh yeah, go fuck yourself, motherfucker. Or was it suck a bag of dicks or something? Like, what was it?
No, he goes,
oh yeah.
He goes, how about I give you a hobo's dick cheese instead? Then skin the bastard. Go to town, man. And he goes, as always, go fuck yourself.
Hangs out and go, we don't negotiate
with terrorists. Starts clapping. And you know it's funny.
Bill Hader's in it. Love that, man.
Bro, Bill Hader playing his assistant is literally the funniest thing ever, because Bill's doing this kind of like, oh yes, this kind of like Hollywood voice in a way, and it's so funny. Cause you're just like you're in this room with Tom Cruise being this kind of maniac character, and in the back is this Bill Hader's being assistant, like yes, and there's a little kind of voice he's doing, and it's so funny seeing Bill Hader react off of Tom Cruise. Because again, if people, I mean, there's people that says on record, people walking down the theater and saying, "Where's Tom Cruise? That wasn't Tom Cruise. Who's that? Who's this balding dude with these fat hands and this like and really bad a beard and glasses. And it's crazy to think that again. If you listen to an interview with him on, I think it was on BBC One in London, as well as Conan. Tom Cruise says because Ben Stiller and him are good friends, and Ben's like, just be you. And Tom Cruise, nah, man, I gotta have fat hands, and I'm gonna dance. and get Tom Cruise. Tom Cruise, man, really says, no, 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 no. I want to have fat hands. I'm gonna dance. And Tom Cruise says he took weeks, if not months, of hip hop dance classes. And it shows in that movie that in the end credits and during the scene where they're playing "Low" by Flo Rida, Tom Cruise is busting his ass. He's dancing, man. This man is dancing pretty good. And you hear the context now, just like, wow, Tom Cruise literally wanted all these prosthetics, the fat hands, and he took hip hop dance classes. I'll tell you, man, this man is a perfectionist, and it works because his performance might be the best. Honestly, again, I wouldn't call it a Tom Cruise movie, but you can't tell me it's probably one of his best performances of all time. Like,
Oh
it's
yeah,
so
facts.
quotable, and it's really just, it's something special. You're like, wow, I wish Tom Cruise could do that again, maybe down the road, maybe in the future or whatever, because it's such a different, it's a huge departure from Ethan Hunt, Jack Reacher, Maverick, whatever, Oblivion, Collateral, and it really came out of nowhere. And again, too, again, if you now that was back in the era too, where marketing for movies were great because they didn't show you shit.
Yeah.
They showed you here's a quick premise. You got Jack Black, you got Downey Jr., you got Ben Stiller. Cool. They did not show Tom Cruise at all in the marketing. And that to
Not
me
once.
is genius, genius. And I'm like, wow. Again, I feel like if I saw that in theaters our age right now, I would have been like, yo, shout out to the studio, the Ben Stiller being like, hey, we're not putting that in the trailer because that's a huge reveal. And again, and I feel like again, it's on record. So many people have said, out of the premiere for that movie, I walked out. I was like, wait, where was Tom Cruise? And I was on my iPad. I was like, yeah, where's Tom Cruise? And it's so smart how Ben and every one of them just kind of like kept that a secret, and how well that Tom Cruise kind of like lost himself in that role. But again, how I asked you about Scott Pilgrim 15 years later, I think you and I agree. You would agree this movie still holds up, right?
Oh yeah, the movie's fucking great. It holds up. Is it acceptable nowadays? Absolutely not. No, people can't stand it. It's still controversy. It is still like people have tried getting it canceled, and Robert Downey Jr. canceled, while while I'm just like, no, it's fine.
No,
And
no,
who was it? It was
exactly.
Jamie Foxx, right? Who told him like it was, or who was it?
Jamie Foxx. So Jamie Foxx literally Jamie Foxx had Joe Rogan had Jamie Foxx on first, while Jamie Foxx and RDJ are like our boy, like best friends. And
Hmm.
Jamie Foxx he goes, how dare you steal these roles from black people? He goes, man, you can't. But Jamie Foxx again. This is what I think the beauty of the movie is. This movie again. Oh God, the podcast I listen to called Double Toasted. These two guys out of Austin. They are like movie commentators. They're critics. They're really smart guys. They're super super funny. And they did a full 15-year anniversary recap of the movie on Monday. Highly recommend watching their video about it. And they're both middle-aged black dudes from Austin, and they're saying this movie's fucking hilarious. And it still holds up because again, the beauty of Tropic Thunder is that they're not making fun of people or saying,
Yeah.
you can do blackface. They're saying this is how stupid actors can be for thinking
Yeah.
they can do this. Like so many actors think I can do this, I can do this, I can do this. I can play someone mentally challenged. I can play a white guy being blackface. And they're literally making the movie's a satire, a commentary on actors think they can do whatever the hell they want and get away with it and win awards for
Right.
it.
Yeah.
And really,
Where
go ahead.
it was just it was the whole movie is making fun of people who think they can get away with it, like pretending
Yeah,
to be special needs and blackface, because that is in itself controversy. Like we're still
yeah.
finding out like certain actors did blackface, which last night, not gonna lie, I found out the girl that did Dorothy in the OG fucking Wizard of Oz
Judy
movie
Garland.
either a year before or the year after did a blackface. And like I have a screenshot of that. Gotta send that to you. Oh, I think I already did.
Yeah, he did.
Yeah. did blackface for a movie, where it's like back in the day, but also like early 2000s, they were
Oh,
still doing
yeah,
it. It
yeah,
was
yeah, yeah.
where like, there's these actors and celebrities who have done it that they don't want to talk about now, but they did it that have not been canceled.
Yeah,
I'm not saying
as
they
you point out
should,
now.
but
Yeah.
like, if you look back into the past of some celebrities, you'll be surprised. So, they were making fun of that one, and Robert Downey Jr., he talks about it now where he's like he was like he didn't say yes right away. Like
No,
I'm
no.
pretty sure it was Jamie Foxx who told him like, yeah, do it. You know what I mean? Where it's like it's okay. Where it's like it's funny, it's satire, and like you know what I mean? Like Robert Downey Jr. was not like certain about it back then, and he's definitely like he's like couldn't do it now, but like even back then he was like I don't think like he was very doubtful that it'll go okay, and it did. A lot of people find it funny. It's satire. It's great. And yeah, still a great fucking movie. I'll be watching it when I'm older. You know. Like I will feel like I will forever quote this movie. It's like me and you watching Jay and Silent Bob. You know what I mean? Like
Oh
we still
yeah.
quote that. Like
Oh,
it's
absolutely.
facts.
Uh,
It holds up because of the comedy format and what they did within it, which was really smart and just overall great. You yeah.
no, dude, it really again in what you brought up about the Judy Garland thing. Those guys in Double Toasted literally brought that up too because they were saying they were like, yeah, that's mockery for sure. Downey
Right.
Jr. was playing they're literally playing a character that was again they were making fun of actors. The message was actors think they can do this, and there's no consequences for this whatsoever. And it really
Right.
shows. Yes, and it's funny when yeah, if you listen to Joe Rogan too, when Downey Jr. had Joe Rogan, when Joe Rogan had RDJ on a few years ago, Joe Rogan says, "Can you do that today? Can you do that movie today?" And right RDJ goes, "You could do it, sure. Is it smart? No, no, it's not." But really, the beauty of that movie is like it's really showing like really like how like yeah, times have changed. That movie 15 years ago, but like still, you're right. Early 2000s, actors still thought they can do that stuff and get away with it. Like, yeah, there's no
Yep.
issue to it. And again, he's not playing. Yeah, he's not playing to mock anybody or do a harm anybody. It's literally making a statement of like actors can do this. Yes, you cannot. 2023, hell no, you can make that movie whatsoever, or even in the past
No,
10 years,
absolutely not.
not at all. But it came out at a time. Well, it was a big risk too because that was the same summer as Iron Man. Crazy
Facts.
because remember Downey Jr. Had problems with alcohol and drug abuse. He was out of rehab. He was in jail a few times, and that was on its comeback tour of like, hey, I'm sober now. I'm becoming a better person. I'm back to being a leading man. And again, as we all know too, when making Iron Man, the studio said no, 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 hell no, hell no. We don't want him either. We do not want him. Get him out of here. Get him out of here. And Jon Favreau pushed for him because no, no, this is our guy. This is our guy. And Kevin Feige, who now is the head of the Marvel Studios, also goes, you want okay, John. I believe in Jon Favreau. I think if he believes RDJ is our guy, he's our guy. And sure enough, look what happened. That movie got RDJ back in his career, one of the biggest actors of all time now. But again, literally 2 months later, out comes Tropic Thunder, a complete 180 to Iron Man. And again, you still watch, you're just like, that's still Downey Jr. That's Robert Downey Jr. And he plays it so good. And there's so many actors. Again, people that had defended him. I think Sam Jackson defended him too, where
Oh
people
yeah, he
defended
did
him.
too. Yeah.
But what the guys at Double Toast said the other day too, they were saying that like every year the new generation saying we should cancel this movie. This movie's offensive. Cancel. It's like oh here we go. Like here we go.
Like here's the thing, what I mean, where it's like Robert Downey Jr. knew that it was a risk. Two huge actors, not white actors, not Asian, not Hispanic, two black actors who are still loved to this day and will forever be loved even after their death, who would slap the shit out of someone,
Oh, hundred
right?
percent.
If they did something like that, told him to do it and said it was hilarious. It's okay. Samuel L. Jackson and Jamie Foxx, who also told what's his fucking name?
Leo.
DiCaprio. Yeah,
Yep.
yeah. Leo DiCaprio that this is an old movie. This is, not historically accurate, but it's a movie about the past say the N-word. They're
Yeah,
actors. They understand the assignments. They explain why they, you know what I mean? It's like don't take into arms like we got like when it's certain assignments. I don't want to say that
certain
because then I'm
projects,
just saying like
certain
certain
projects.
projects they've been like, all right, that's understandable. You know what I mean? Like with the what was it the Black Klansman? You know what I mean? Adam Driver says the N word. You know what I
Yeah.
mean?
And
Like
you have
that was
Spike, you have Spike
understandable.
Lee, you have Spike Lee directing you, and Spike Lee has written this script too. Again, you're in good. I think you're in good hands with Spike Lee, who's one of the most prominent black filmmakers of our time, if not all time. And again, you are in the hands of a master like Spike Lee, who's really directing you in a way of like, hey, you again, no one's hitting you for this. You're playing it. You're playing a character during a time when the KKK was really prominent and really, powerful. It's you're playing is a historical thing. Like you said, historically accurate like Django? No. But to be fair, Black Klansman is based on a true story of
Yeah,
um, Ron Stallworth, who as a first black detective in Colorado Springs was infiltrating the Ku Klux Klan. And again, it was a very big time where it was the KKK was very just like powerful and they were on the rise, stuff like that. But to your point, you're right. Adam Driver had that with playing a character as a cop, but again, you have Spike Lee directing you and having you in
yeah.
his circle as an actor,
Again,
as a player.
we do not support racism or anything like that, obviously. But when it comes to just movies like that, like you have to be understanding of what it was. You know what I mean? And like Doug said earlier, like the the movie was satire, which
Yeah,
got proved by Samuel L. Jackson and Jamie Foxx, who find it fucking hilarious. You know?
yeah. Exactly. And you know what? Another thing too, I'm going to say too, I think people can be angry about it. Absolutely. People can be angry. That's your right. That's your
Yeah,
given right. That's your given right. People can be angry about it. And the guys Double Toast said, yeah, no, you're right. You can be angry. You can be angry. You can definitely be angry about it because as you're right.
like
You
my
feel that
girl
way.
don't
So,
like it, like
and that's fine.
my ex. Yeah,
Yeah, and that's fine. And that's totally fine because you know
that's
what?
fine.
Again, and also I'm a white dude too. So again, I don't know. Again, I don't know how that
Can't
feels.
say
Obviously, not. Yeah, right. Again, a white dude. I'm a white dude from Chicago. I don't know how that feels whatsoever, too. But again, I think that movie has really stood up against 15 years of like every year the new generation that comes up and kind of like um, talks about it, obviously, and is either introduced to it or talks about it too. Um, but it's a movie that really kind of again, it was a period of time where yes, like you said, you could not do that, and also, also it's kind of saying too, this was never right. No actor should have done blackface. There was that movie also says too, like
Oh,
this was never right to begin with, or
right.
it never was, it never is, never will be. And yeah, that's because that's smart of that movie. That movie show again, even Ben Stiller playing a man with special needs. That's showing making fun of how many actors have won Oscars for that too.
Doing it, yeah,
And
where
actually
you're just
doing
like
it right.
you shouldn't have.
No,
Yeah, I
and
mean,
again, and it'll be until this day. It's very important. I'm talking this today too. Representation matters. Whether you're
yeah,
black, Hispanic, Asian, trans, again, a woman, everything. A person with
it's
special needs, it matters.
it's like Johnny Knoxville. Well, that one was a good movie. When he did the special needs movie, he got real special
Yeah, the
needs
ringer.
people for it. Huh?
Yep, the ring.
What was it called?
Yeah, the ringer.
The Ringer. That's what it was called.
Yeah, but
Mm.
the Special Olympics. Yeah,
Yeah, there we go. The
the
Ringer,
ring.
which,
Yeah.
by the way, he's still friends with one of the actors, the one with Down syndrome and the glasses. I forget his name. I feel so bad. I'm not good with
Oh,
names, people.
yeah.
But he's still friends with him. He even brought him on to Jackass. You know what I mean? To
Yeah,
help him do things.
Edward Barbanel. Oh, that's right. He's right. He was in
Yeah,
Workaholics too. That was funny.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So like like movies like that where it's like they're showing you what there's movies that show you what you shouldn't fucking do, like making fun of people for doing those things, and then another movie that gives representation to people that truly need it. You know what I mean? With
Yeah. Oh,
special
absolutely.
needs and everything, and like, you know what I mean? Like, it wasn't only blackface. Like Latinos got we had white actors playing Latinos too. And
Oh yeah.
comedians loved doing Latino shit back in the
Oh
day,
yeah.
stereotypical, especially
Yes.
like like the where like comedy shows or stand up or skit shows where they did like Latinos where you know it was not good representation. So
Oh yeah.
and then there's people that later on made fun of so yeah.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely, dude. I'm really glad you brought up the Black Klansman. That movie's fucking phenomenal. I think that's Spike Lee's best movie.
Fantastic.
It's a
Yeah.
great movie. It's such a good movie, and I feel like the movie gets kind of like forgotten about, even though it won a couple Oscars. But yeah, man, that movie.
I didn't see it for a while. You were telling me about it for so long. You're like, bro, you gotta go see this movie.
Well,
I was like, it's
because we
like,
were
that was at the time where I wasn't
Chirac.
seeing anything. Yeah. Plus
We had
Iraq.
Chirac and our bad taste in our mouth. We were like Spike. Because
Yeah,
we're
dude,
all
that
We're
was
all
the
Spike Lee fans.
only
Yeah,
movie we ever walked
we
out
walked
of,
out
by the
of.
way. And we saw Lucy,
We
which
saw
was
Lucy
shit.
and Spring Breakers.
Oh, Spring Breakers, that shit. Such a bad. People love that movie. I'm like, that movie was absolute dog shit. So,
Yeah,
it was so bad.
so
Anyways,
bad, dude.
yeah,
Yeah.
that was. But like, I saw it eventually. I was like, damn, you're. I actually saw it because of you, because of your voodoo.
Yeah,
Uh,
yeah. I'm watching it in
that's
London.
how I saw it.
I was like, you know what? I didn't see it in theaters. I think I was busy with stuff, and it left. And they didn't do well. I watched it in London. And I was like, holy shit, this movie's fucking phenomenal. I think it's Spike Lee's best work. I mean, I love Do the Right
Yeah,
Thing, but really, man, the way that Spike was able to capture like what what a hero Ron Stallworth is, and he's the first black detective in Colorado Springs, and what he's able to do to bring the that area of the KKK down is phenomenal. I want to read his book to me because that to me is just like it sounds like a hero, and it's kind of like what he did to like kind of like risk his life and risk his kind of just like his cover too is just like it's just a crazy true story. But I heard the book's phenomenal too. But yeah, I think what Ron Stallworth did is just like it's just heroic, but it's just really good. It makes me want to read his book for sure. But yeah, quick shout out to Black
yeah,
Klansman because I think that's Spike Lee's best work as a filmmaker. But tonight's obviously we do have a review to get to tonight, and this week's review is the dog rated R raunchy rated hard R rated comedy of Strays, which stars Will Ferrell, Jamie Foxx, Isla Fisher, and Randall Park. If you're one of the lucky people that got to see this movie through the screening, thanks to our good friends at Frost Communications. This was a very movie that a lot of people were talking about it. Like how's it gonna? It's a rated R dog movie. How's it gonna do? How's it gonna hold up? It's very raunchy. It's basically to sum up for you guys. Basically, Reggie, voiced by the one and only Will Ferrell. His owner, played by Will Forte, also named Doug. And when they say named Doug in the movie, Nick started cracking up laughing. He goes, "Oh hell no!" And sure enough, Doug is probably the worst owner you'll ever meet. Dog owner you'll ever meet. He's a scumbag. He's high all the time. He's a really just jerk. So he abandons poor little small Reggie, played by voiced by Will Ferrell, and he's now a stray, and he meets fellow strays, and kind of like they kind of show him the kind of the walks of life of being a stray. But Reggie's new goal is to go back to Doug, and this is the trailer, quote unquote, bite his dick off. That is the premise of the movie, my friends. That's it. And you know what? The trailers didn't tell me. I was like, okay, Jimmy Foxx in it, who I love Jimmy Foxx so much. Will Ferrell's in it. I love Will Ferrell as well, but he hasn't had a good movie in a while, if you ask me. I mean, he's good in Barbie, but that wasn't his movie, really. And I was like, I don't know, a rated R raunchy movie about dogs, and I was just like, I don't know, like trailers didn't sell me whatsoever, and I was like, okay, and they got pushed back from May to I want to say May to tomorrow, August, and I was like, it got pushed back. Is that a good sign? I don't know. And I was like, all right, so again, we did the promotion for this movie, all the screenings out here in Phoenix, and then me and Nick went to the screening last Wednesday. And Nick was kind of like, yeah, we'll see. Going into it. I'll tell you what, Joe. Me and Nick found this movie fucking hilarious. Oh my god. I going in with low expectations, that was definitely the right thing. The movie starts, me and Nick are busting out laughing, cracking up. We're like, oh, okay, you know what you're in for right away. And the jokes do not stop. The whole movie, again, for an hour and a half, again, first off, it's an hour and a half, really quick paced movie. I love it, as most comedies should. The jokes do not stop coming. And really what kind of sold me too is that there are some really, again, if you're a dog lover, you'll love this movie despite the raunch and how crazy it is. Because every dog in this movie has a moment to shine. And I'll tell you what, too, the quote unquote animation, hybrid live action animation looks really good. They're obviously dogs being filmed on location, obviously, but when they move the mouth, obviously it's all CGI. You can hear Will Ferrell's voice, you can hear Jimmy Foxx, you can hear Isla Fisher and Randall Park. But man, I was having the time of my life in this movie. I was cracking up. Nick and I were cracking up laughing too. There's so many funny jokes that I don't want to spoil for you or our audiences. That really had me cracking up laughing. Like, I was laughing more than I probably should have personally. But man, I thought this movie was hilarious. The story itself is nothing special. I'll be honest with you. It's kind of like kind of like road trip / buddy / revenge movie. It's okay. The story itself was kind of weak, if you ask me. I think that was kind of the weakest part of the movie itself. I was like, okay, he wants to get back to his old owner and just bite his dick off. Okay, that's it. Not much to the story whatsoever. But the journey itself is what sold it to me, because these 4 dogs go through so much weird shit that me and Nick are like, wow, they're actually doing this and it's working and it's cracking us up. Jamie Foxx to me is the big MVP standout for sure. He plays a little kind of little bulldog named Bug, and I love Jamie Foxx, and it's him. Jamie Foxx trying to play this tough guy, voicing this little tiny bulldog is the funniest thing, because he's by dogs that are bigger than him. The dog being played by Will Ferrell is a little bit bigger than him, maybe almost the same size. But it's so funny hearing Jimmy Foxx trying to be like, tough and like, yeah, and street, and this small ass fucking bulldog. And it's cracked me up because like he's saying some things about, about food and about, where you get food, you drink some beer, like pissing on each other. And I'm like, to me, I think this is so stupid, but for some reason, Nick and I were literally cracking the hell up every time, and all the jokes to me were making me laugh. There were, I think, maybe midway during the movie, I was kind of like, okay, how much time we got left of this? Even though it was an hour and a half, it stops. It takes a halt at a time. I was like, okay, where are we going with this? But again, what makes you laugh is that all the 4 voice actors are doing a great job. Will Ferrell, Jamie Foxx, Isla Fisher, Randall Park. They really match the dog that they're playing like perfectly, if that makes any sense. Like they were literally casted to a T for each dog that they were voicing. And really what had me cracking up was just like the adventure itself, what they go through, and what they're hungry, how they're gonna eat when they have no food, how they're gonna drink when there's no nothing to drink. And as a dog lover, I was like, man, like I would hate for my parents' dogs to go through this, or any kind of dog to go through, because this is terrible. But it makes you laugh. You're like, oh, okay. And again, there's no harm to any dogs, luckily. But man, dude, I really was surprised by this movie. It caught me off guard. I was like, wow, this is hilarious. And again, I think Nick will agree too, is that this really was the chemistry of these voice acting really kind of sold it for me. And there are a lot of emotional scenes too. I was kind of like, oh, I would adopt these dogs. Again, the scene where they're at the shelter or they're at the pound, and I was like, I want to bring that dog home. I want to bring that dog home. I was like, please. And there's really cute dogs. But man, this movie is not for kids in the slightest, not at all. And if you might get scarred from some of the things with some of the dogs do, for sure. But honestly, like I really had a great time with this movie. I thought it was really super funny. Phil Lord, Chris Miller produces one. As you guys know, Phil Lord and Chris Miller have done. They did 21, 22 Jump Street. They did a Lego movie. They write and produce the Spider-Verse movies. The Clyde Chance of Meatballs is their movie. They also write and produce the show The After Party on Apple TV, and they also produced Cocaine Bear this year. So these guys really know how to. These guys know how to make original content, original stories for sure. But they're very good at making things so out of the ordinary. Like a movie about Legos. Like, come on, no way, and it worked. Rebooting Jump Street worked. And again, they're not the main writers directors of this movie, but you can tell their stamp of comedy is on this movie for sure. And I wasn't the biggest Cocaine Bear fan personally. I was like, it was fine. I liked some of the moment, but I felt kind of flat for me at times. But you can tell like their influence was kind of as producers were there, but let Elizabeth Banks run the movie herself as a director and writer. But truly, you can feel their stamp on this movie without a doubt. And you know what, too? I was kind of worried too because he was like a first-time writer. I was like, oh, how was gonna do? But I felt like they probably got him some good writing, either revision scripts, rewrites, whatever, script doctors whatsoever. But man, really, what I recommend this movie is that the chemistry between all actors is voice acting is superb. Again, Jamie Foxx is a big MVP, but again, without much story there, they make up for that and the jokes and the funny references to certain other dog movies, other dog stories. And again, it's the journey itself. What they go on makes me really, that made me really like kind of like, oh, this is cute. Even though it was a really hard R raunchy movie, I had a time. I had a blast with this movie. I thought it was super funny. I hope it does well this weekend. It's in theater. It's in theaters. Yeah, to be in theaters tomorrow. And Nick, I would give it an 8 out of 10. I think it's probably my favorite comedy of the year right now. I like Joyride. I like No Hard Feelings, but really, this movie had me in stitches, and it was just fun seeing it with a crowd of people that were laughing and clapping, having a good time, like kind of like that belly laugh, that kind of like the old school, Seth Rogen movies, Judd Apatow movies, Adam Sandler movies, where your belly was kind of hurting, or like I was smiling cheek to cheek a lot in this movie, and I was like, wow, my face kind of hurts from laughing so much. And seeing it with Nick too, me and Nick were just busting out. We're like, oh hell no, or like, there's one thing in particular I want to spoil, but like, it's a reference to another dog movie. I laughed the most in that theater, and Nick was like, "What's so funny?" And I explained to him too, and Nick goes, "Oh hell no!" Started laughing even more too, and we were just busting out laughing the entire time. But yeah, I had a good time with this movie. If you're a dog lover, for sure see this movie. You might be scarred a little bit, but I think it's definitely worth seeing in theaters. 8 out of 10. And I have Nick's review right here. Nick's review says, "Strays was dope and funny as absolute hell. A lot funnier than I thought it would be. Love the chemistry between all the actors and characters. The character played by Will Forte was super funny, and no spoilers, but at a certain point in the movie, he basically got what he deserved in such a way that I couldn't help but laugh hysterically at. I loved it. Super hilarious. 8 out of 10 for me. He's in the theaters." So yeah, guys, literally, me and Nick had so much fun with this movie. And the scene we're talking about, really, when the scene happens, it was just so funny seeing Nick go, no, no, no. And it was just seeing his reaction had me laughing too. And again, I really give a lot of props to Universal, Phil Lord and Chris Miller, and the team behind this movie for giving this a theatrical run. I really, really do. This could have been easily on Peacock or on Max, HBO, Netflix. And at first, if you ask me if you want to go, I'm like, this could have been a streaming movie. I really give the props to Universal for believing this movie and making this movie theatrical, full theatrical release. Because again, I think this. I mean, even though Joyride, No Hard Feelings didn't do the best numbers at the box office, I really do give props to these studios and production companies that are believing in theatrical movies, that are believing in theatrical comedies. Because right now, we're seeing an era of the comedies are dying in theaters. It's going to be straight to Netflix or HBO or Hulu, whatever. And again, you aren't getting the same experience that you would in the theater. And I saw all three of these comedies this year in the theaters. Joyride, the press screening. I paid for No Hard Feelings. Man, matinee Tuesday, that theater was packed. But this movie especially too, I hope it does well. Like I said, it's the end of the August, it's the end of the summer movie season. Not much is coming out. Blue Beetle's coming out as well this weekend as well. The marketing of this movie was good, but I think they kind of revealed a bit too much at the last few trailers. I would recommend this movie. Yeah, if you already saw Barbie and Oppenheimer, going to see Blue Beetle, looking for a good time, hour and a half, good time to laugh, I would recommend seeing this movie because again, we got to support original comedy movies like this, rated R comedies and comedies in general in theaters because it's really important to like support these movies at their level because again, in a year from now, who knows if we're going to see any comedies in the theater, whether I go right to Netflix. So I hope it does well. Again, shout out to the whole team, the whole cast. Phil Lord, Chris Miller, the director, the writers, Universal. Because man, me and Nick had so much fun with this movie, and we were cracking up the entire time. So please, please, please see Strays. 8 out of 10 for me. Definitely my top 10 of the year so far with comedy. So that's our review of Strays. And honestly, Joe, I think you would like the movie too. I was like, you know what? Joe will find this funny too. Like, because it's like our kind of humor for sure. And we're all dog. You're also a dog lover. And there's some things that would make you laugh like hysterically out loud, like a TJ laugh almost.
Okay. All right. Yeah, it sounds good. I will definitely check it out eventually. I don't think I'll go see it in theaters, but I will very much so check it out eventually.
Yeah, it caught me by surprise, man. Really, it caught me by surprise. And like I
It, it,
said, I think we're
yeah,
like,
I I don't have the time right now to go see
no, I get it,
movies
I
or
get
the
it. Yeah,
money, so I can't go to theaters. That's why I'm not gonna see it in theaters. I highly suggest people go see it in theaters. If I could, I would, but your boy broke. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, definitely go check out in theaters. Yeah, all right. I was thinking about it. I was like, I'll probably go see it eventually. I'll probably see it if I can. So hearing your review, it sounds good. I think I'll check it out for sure.
yeah. Honestly, man, I like being I like being proven wrong on everything. I like being proven wrong on everything. Conversations, arguments, anything. But movies, especially in TV shows, because I go and I'm like, I don't want to see this. Is gonna be, and I walk out saying, "Yep, I was proven wrong. Yep, I had a good time with this." And then this trailer didn't sell me anything. I was like, you know what? We're promoting it. We're promoting this movie. We're hosting these. We're doing these screenings promoting for our listeners, for our listeners in Phoenix, on our website, on our social media. I was like, okay, this
Mhm.
is gonna. I hope this is gonna be good. And walking out a little optimistic, but really walking out, me and Nick had the biggest smile on our faces, and we were cracking up, man. And I love a good old raunchy rated R comedies because it is fun to laugh with people. It really is. And yeah, me and Nick have seen a lot of comedies together. Then, to be fair, too, Nick's a good. You are too. Nick is a very good audience to see the comedies with because Nick's a good audience that laughing at certain jokes. And he'll be like, and when movie's not funny, he won't laugh. You too. We've seen movies that are like this was not funny at all. This was not funny. Like this was
Oh
not
yeah,
great.
no, we
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 have
we were stone faced on a lot of fucking movies
a
where
lot of
this was
movies.
absolute shit.
This is
I
not funny.
remember. I love how you always bring up my commentary for Spring Breakers.
Yeah, oh yeah, because you go the movie ends, you go, what was that? What the hell was that? And the entire theater started cracking up laughing. You brought the humor to that movie when that movie had
Oh,
no
thank you.
humor.
Thank you so much. I try.
No,
I,
dude.
I love the thing that I forget from time to time and you always bring up, which is the scene with Gucci Mane is talking about my baby hungry.
Hungry. That big pile of weed on his glass table.
Yeah, and I'm just like, so you fucking weed, so your baby won't
No,
be hungry and buy us the clothes.
but
Like,
the way you said it though in the theater, because it was very quiet, and all you heard Joel go is, "Then sell your weed." It was very like almost like a Jerry Seinfeld kind of thing. You were like, "Then sell your weed," and I was cracking up laughing. I was like, "Oh my god!" But you know
that
what?
movie is so bad.
I'll tell you what, man. I feel like back in that you and I we saw stuff like Neighbors, This Is the End, The Interview, Jump Streets, all this kind of stuff. Like
Yeah.
I feel like that era of like seeing comedies in the big theater, like that was so much fun because it was you and I, bunch of strangers, or we were with the squad, with the crew, whatever, and we were in the theater, and that just enhanced the movie experience itself because you're seeing a bunch of random people all laughing together. But again, I cherish those times. Again, even like when we saw
Especially when you can avoid sitting next to TJ.
that too. But even stuff, right? But even stuff like when we saw Pop Star, when we saw Central Intelligence, when we saw even My Birthday, we saw The Night Before, which is a really underrated movie with Seth Rogen, Anthony Mackie, Joseph
Facts.
Gordon-Levitt. It was you, me, and Sebastian. We walked in, and we're like, oh, it's probably crowded. There was no one there but us, not one guy in the back. And I was like,
Oh
oh no.
yeah.
We were like, oh
Yeah.
no. And we still, no matter what, we still laughed our ass. We were all cracking the fuck up, having a great time. We were
Ah, dude, I was
laughing.
crying. Me and you were crying,
Right.
bro.
We were all three of us were just laughing, having a good time. So yeah, I don't. Again, is it needed? No, for an audience, but it definitely enhances it. But I do miss the days of walking to a theater with you, and be like, oh wow, this is crazy packed. Like this is gonna be like this is gonna be huge. It's gonna be a good one. Everyone's laughing at each other. Now it's just like I feel like every once in a again, I feel like the studio and the theatrical comedy really is going away, which breaks my heart.
Yeah.
Because you get I've seen comedies on Netflix, quote unquote comedies that made for Netflix or Hulu, and the whole time I'm like, yeah, I didn't laugh once. I was like, like I started watching one the other day. It's with Adam Devine and Adam Sandler produced it, where like his like in-laws are playing like bounty hunters, or whatever.
Oh yeah, they're thieves.
Dude, 20 minutes in, I was like, I'm out. I turned it off. I was like, yep, I'm out. Oh, dude, a good
Because
one is,
comedy, the problem with comedy, as we talked about like Tropic Thunder, is that comedy is really safe. You know
yeah,
what I mean? Where
yeah, no,
me
it
and
is.
you, we laugh at the raunchy, fucked up, like dark humor type of comedy, Those were the comedies that like made us crack up,
Yeah,
smart, like no hold bars comedies. Where nowadays it's very much safe because you can get canceled for saying one little joke that wasn't even offensive at all.
yeah, no, that also true. Also very true. And I really do feel like I mentioned this. I think I mentioned this on maybe a podcast last month, or maybe a few months ago, where I think the really last good year for comedies, personally for studio comedies, was 2018, and here's why: you had Game Night, you had Blockers, and you had Tag. You had
Facts.
three great comedies right there. That Blockers did pretty well, but Tag,
Tag did so bad, but
okay,
it was
yeah,
such a great fucking movie, by the way. It was
yeah.
great.
And
It's fantastic.
I remember you, Galliano, and Femi saw it before I did the screening, and you were like texting me, "Bro, I'm hurting." This shit was hilarious, and I was like, oh, "Thank
Dude,
God!" I was like, "Yes."
I laughed so fucking. We all laughed so hard. Like we were grabbing our stomachs. We were dying laughing. Like it was such a polarizing movie that pulled us in, and especially for our group. I missed that. I was so sad I couldn't see it with you because I was like, man, like if Doug was here, he'd love it, man. Like he's going to love it. But like, fuck, like, man, I miss like being able to like have my fucking movie partner right there.
I
And
know,
we see
man.
such good movies. Like we saw Mike and Dave without you. We
No,
saw.
no, 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 no. My name was my last movie before I moved to Arizona. Remember?
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah,
It
yeah. I
was
was.
your birthday. It was
It
your birthday.
was.
It was you, me, Carlos, TJ, Sebastian, and Galliano. We saw it together.
So wait, what was the movie? Me? Oh wait, no, never mind. I didn't like that movie. It was Sausage Party. That
Oh
was
yeah, dude.
yeah. No,
I saw
never mind.
TJ.
Never
Yeah,
mind.
yeah, yeah. I saw TJ and
Not
Sebastian.
that
Yeah.
movie. I'm good. That scarred me for life, and I've never seen it again. Facts, and I probably never will watch it again ever, unless you pay me. But but yeah, no, like there was movies where like I was like, fuck, I wish Doug was here. But nowadays, like man, like I really don't watch comedies. You know
They're
what I mean?
dying. They're dying, man. Like even
They're
like
dying because you can't be funny because funny is offensive. You know what I mean? It has to be safe comedy. Like, dude, like years ago, I remember someone like there was like an interview, right, where there was two comedians and they were talking. One comedian was like, I can't go to some colleges because they'll tell me you can't do these types of joke. They're off limits, and so they can't do like stand up at like colleges or like on campus like areas because like
yeah,
everything's very PC. You can't say jokes because they'll offend someone or trigger someone. Where it's like you know what I mean? Like there's a lot of people that are stunned watching certain things where even old movies. Where it's like, oh, I am finding funny. I was so offended, this and that. Where it's like that's the point of comedy. You know what I mean? It's supposed to. It's making fun of these things to be not only to be offensive, but to make you laugh at it. You know what I
yeah.
mean?
No, I get it.
Like
I get that.
like Robin Williams has a stand up said a lot of fuck shit that was fucking hilarious. And he's done movies that are where his comedy is dark. Robin Williams, he was a comedian, someone that made other people laugh because, he had a lot of darkness in his life and he had a lot of struggles and, a lot of people have struggles. If you can't laugh at those things, then what's the point? You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Like
Oh,
my
exactly.
fam, me and my sisters talk about a lot of things from our past that are traumatizing. People be like, "Oh my God," while me and her are laughing. So
Yeah.
like if you can't laugh at yourself and at your own pain, then don't fucking laugh at all. You suck. You bore me. You
Oh,
know what I mean?
oh,
Like there's certain things that it's like that's not funny. That's fucked. But but everything nowadays where it's like nothing can be funny. Where it's like you
well,
have to be so PG.
dude. Another thing, what you said that on the nose actually was that I'm seeing things now that are called quote unquote comedies, and I'm like, this is not a comedy. This was not a comedy. Comedy to me is like
There's
yuck yuck. It's
yeah.
not like I literally means you watched the movie the other day. This movie, dude, it got nominated for Best Picture, Best Writing, Best Director past year, and people were like, "You gotta see this movie, man. It's great. You know what's on Hulu? You gotta watch it." I was like, "All right." It's a 2.5 hour movie. I was like, "This is a long for a comedy." Me and Z
What
watched
movie
the
is
last
this?
Triangle of Sadness.
Jesus Christ, that doesn't sound funny at all.
I wanted to
I've
rip my
never heard
hair
of
out, bro. I wanted to rip my
I
hair out
never
halfway through. I was like,
Dude, what the fuck?
this
Triangle of
sucks.
Sadness?
Dude, it's not funny. It's supposed to be a satire. I'll tell you what, me and Z did not laugh once. Excuse me, we did not laugh once. And the whole time I'm like, how much longer? Z was like, how much longer do we have? I was like, another hour. She goes, another
By
hour
the
and a half.
way, that's saying something to have Z hate a movie. Like, Z is not a movie person, obviously, at all. But for her to dislike a movie, that is saying something.
Dude, we watched it, man, and we were like, what? This is not funny. It was like people were like funniest movie of the year, and I was like, I didn't laugh once. So I'm seeing a lot of stuff that and other things were like, yeah, this is a comedy. I'm like, I didn't laugh at once. I see things in theaters or at home streaming, and I'm like, comedy my ass. I was like, no, comedy again. When you laugh, like I'll laugh out loud, like, oh, that's hilarious. Like, oh, it's great. This thing of like, yeah, you call it a comedy, but it's not. It's more of a dramedy. A dramedy is a dramedy. That's totally fine. That's its own genre for sure. But when you call something a straight up comedy, I'm like, yeah, no, it's not. No, it's not. So I hope that also like going forward, like hopefully we go back to like defining of like what's a real comedy and what's not. Because man,
Mm.
after a while, now when I'm seeing things are called comedies, I'm like, yeah, what the hell
I
are you
I
talking about?
I do not watch comedies. I've noticed myself, like I really
Yeah.
don't have a dislike. I really skip like comedy movies on like Netflix. Like when you're looking through genre, you're just like, what type of movie do I want to watch? Comedy is not one of them because
Yeah.
I've noticed like for shows and movies I have not been laughing. Like new Futurama or the what was it Neighbor, that alien show on Hulu as well. I wasn't
Oh
laughing.
yeah.
My girl
Polar
finds it
opposites or
my
solar
G
opposites.
yeah, G finds it funny and she was like,
Yeah.
"Oh, I was cracking up," and I saw it and I was like, "Okay."
Mm. Dude,
I probably
trailers
gotta
look
watch.
bad.
I gotta watch more of it because I don't want to just be like it's real bad, but it's like
No, I get it. I get it.
I wasn't like I watched the first episodes for both shows. I watched two episodes for Polar Opposites. I didn't laugh at all. But I'm gonna give it a bit more try because I don't want to like shut it down right away. But like I've noticed that I haven't really been watching comedies. Like I haven't really been watching things that are supposed to be, seems funny because it's just like I haven't laughed like, and that's saying a lot for me
Yeah.
and you. Where it's like me and you, like it's action movies or comedies. That's our thing. So for these movies to have us just be like, so action movies, thrillers,
Yeah.
horror. Like I'll watch a horror movie before I watch new generation comedies because it's just like, ah, dude, there's like I think like the new comedies are like trying to be funny, and in reality, it's just like that. That was really sad.
Yeah, dude, or yeah, or just the
Like
jokes
it,
are
like
not
they don't
funny.
frame it. Yeah, they don't frame the joke for like sad things. You know what I mean? Like me and you can make jokes about traumas, or about the
Yeah.
things we've been through in life, like other people. And then like in these movies, they don't frame it as a joke. Like they'll just say it and expect people to be like, "Oh, relatable." Or in reality, it's just like Jesus Christ.
Yeah.
Like, like you get that secondhand embarrassment,
Yes.
awkwardness where you're just like, I
Yes.
want to leave the room now.
Yeah,
Like,
you're like,
with those
oh.
conversations where you're just like, oh, what time is it? Oh, it's so late. It's like 10 a.m. I gotta go home. Like that's the type of where it's just like, oh, dude, that wasn't funny. Like, I think I'm just gonna leave now. Like, this is
Yeah.
awkward.
Dude, no, dude, yeah, it's like,
Like
that's cringe.
yeah, like I've seen movies where it's just like, oh, dude, I am so uncomfortable. I'm so uncomfortable. It's not even funny. It's just uncomfortable, you know?
Dude, yeah, it's cringe. You're just like, you're like, you're just like, yeah, you're supposed to laugh at the cringe, but the cringe is like kind of like taken away from the laughing at. You're just like, yeah, I can't laugh. I can only cringe at this because this is really making me feel embarrassed. You're just like, yeah, nah. You're like, nah. So I don't know, man. I'm looking. I really do see what's going to happen. I think we're going to see more comedies start to go back again. More and more go them go to streaming, but unfortunately, man, I really if you make more comedies on streaming, by all means, but please call them comedies or please label them like the correct things because if you label them the wrong thing, you're misleading for sure. You're misleading it, and you're kind of just like telling us one thing. You're not selling us the right the right thing. So
Right.
that's how I see it too, man. But yeah, man, I hope people see Strays this weekend. I think it was super funny. Like I said, it's just fun. Again, if you're a dog lover too, it's gonna be again. You might be scarred from it a little bit, but truly, it's a movie that made me really like genuinely feel like laugh and feel my sides were hurting. So I'm looking forward to seeing what it does over the weekend. Fingers crossed it does well. But you want to take us
Yeah.
home, my friend?
Well, wasn't there one more thing you wanted to do, my guy?
I don't think I got any more giveaways to mention. I'm trying to think. Do you want to do more?
I'll say it. I'll say it.
Go ahead.
In place of our one-on-ones, our
Oh yes,
favorite Will
thank
Ferrell
you,
and
yes,
Jamie
thank you.
Foxx movies.
So I have you, man, the co-host. Thank God for Joel, man. Oh my God, shame on me. I went to some context. You
You're
went,
the
thank
one
you,
who
Joel,
texts the
the group
schedule. Like
chat,
I'm.
dude. I'm so mad at myself too. Wow, thank you, Joe. This is why I have you as my fucking co-host, man. Thank you for
Since you fucked
keep
up
me in
and
check.
forgot, you got to go first.
First, okay, I got you. So I've been rightfully so. So for me, I said if you put my last podcast about the Clone Tyrone a few weeks ago, Jimmy Foxx is one of my heroes. I idolize this guy in every way. I think he's the most talented person in the world, whether it's acting, comedy, dancing, singing, everything. This man can do it all. I really just think he's one of my heroes. And then Jimmy Foxx too, that really kind of like made me kind of feel like more like he's one of my heroes. Is that he also was a big brother to someone with Down syndrome as well. He had a little sister that had Down syndrome, and unfortunately we lost her a few years ago. I think during COVID, unfortunately. But he was very involved with Special Olympics, best buddies. Like there's a video, man, of him at an event with his little sister, and all these kids with Down syndrome and special needs were going up to him like Jimmy Foxx, and he was so gracious, man. He was so nice to all of them, smiling, taking pictures, taking a selfie, dancing with them, and like he could be like, "Nah, I'm not doing this." And that could have been a PR thing, but man, he brought energy to that room, and people were like, "Oh my gosh, Jimmy Foxx is here with us too." And again, I idolize this guy with all my heart. I think he's really just a once in a lifetime kind of talent of how talented he is. And I love him in interviews. He's a great storyteller as well. He's a great impressionist. I love Jimmy Foxx in every way. So I'm so glad he's doing better now after his little health scare. He's one of my favorite people in the world. So for so many things, Ray, Collateral, Baby Driver. I mean, list goes on and on. He's just he's a phenomenal actor. And and Living Colored. Joel posted a funny thing today. Of the skit when he was in when he was playing the girl, he was playing the woman, He's really just he's a talented dude, and there's so many things that I love of his work. And there are things I don't like either. I'm just like, oof, like that wasn't his best one. But again, like when he was Motherfucker Jones and Horrible Bosses, man, it cracked me up to this day. He was great in Dreamgirls. He was phenomenal in Just Mercy. Again, the list goes on and on. Like really, like there are things I've seen though, like movie like Project Power that I despise. I'm like, oh man, why are we in this then? But I loved him as Electro in Spider-Man 2 and also No Way Home. He really was like great in the last Spider-Man No Way Home. So for me though, I gotta go with my favorite Tarantino movie, which he's a star of, which is Django Unchained. Because man, Jamie Foxx is a badass in this movie. Like he's out for revenge. Again, slave turned free, and typical Tarantino style. And man, he means business. He's out for blood. He's looking for his wife, played by the gorgeous Kerry Washington. And man, Tarantino makes him like a ruthless bounty hunter. No mercy, no boundaries. And he's so badass. And and what makes it cool that he plays a really cool bounty hunter for a period which is very dark with slavery and just that era of how just like bounty hunters were mostly whites, and Tarantino makes Jamie Foxx just like a quote unquote unlikely hero into Django. And there's the badass line that I think of all time was when he kills that guy, when he goes what does he go? He hits him with a gun. He goes, oh, I'm blanking on the line. He goes, "That's how you die, boy," something like that. I should know this too. He goes, "Yeah, that's how you die, boy," and then he shoots the guy in the chest. It's like the typical Tarantino gun out of the hand thing. It's just really just it's brutal. It's dark, fucked. But man, Jimmy Foxx, what was that?
The line is, "I like how you die, boy."
Boy, thank you. Oh, I blame that. Because I like how you die, boy. And he shoots him, dude. It's so badass. Thank you, Joe. I know I blanked on that for some reason. The line is so badass. The guy tips over, but man, it's brutal. It's bloody. But Jamie Foxx is a star, and man, he really that is his movie through and through. So. Love Jamie Foxx. I love his movies, but Django's my favorite Tarantino movie, and mostly because of Jamie Foxx's charisma and like how he brought that character to life. Favorite Will Ferrell movie? Oh my god, this is gonna be tough. Will Ferrell is one of my favorite comedians of all time too, comedic actors of all time. Stuff like Old School, Ricky Bobby, Step Brothers, other guys. This was tough, man. This was tough. This past week I was like, what's gonna be? Man, which one? I was going back between the other guys and Ricky Bobby and other movies. I was like, I do miss the classic Will Ferrell, like the old Anchorman Will Ferrell. I'm going to go, and I proudly own this jersey thanks to my pops. I'm going to go with probably his most underrated movie, which is Semi-Pro. Where he's Jackie Moon in Semi-Pro. Will Ferrell plays this basketball player in this league that like not the NBA, but like the ABA, whatever, and like the 70s in Flint, Michigan, called the Flint Tropics. And it's based, and Will Ferrell plays the coach, the manager, the owner, and the lead point guard for this team. And really, American Basketball Association, Flint, Michigan Tropics, 76. And really, Will Ferrell has this crazy afro with the headband. Oh my god, I think this is for sure his most underrated movie of all time. It's so funny. I own that jersey proudly, but man, oh my god, him, Andre 3000, Woody Harrelson, the list goes on and on. This movie is truly hilarious, and it came out and literally no one saw it. I think it's one of his biggest flops ever. And Will Ferrell on record says, "I will no longer do sports movies because of how bad this movie flopped." And it sucks because the movie is super funny. And yeah, it's a rated R, it's a raunchy comedy, and Will Ferrell plays this absurd. He's a really absurd guy. He's not likable, but he's likable because he loves his team so much. He loves playing for the ABA. He loves being the coach, manager, star, everything, owner, franchisee, whatever. And man, his character is so it's so absurd. But Will Ferrell it kills it as Jackie Moon, and I can watch that movie over and over again. I will laugh every time. when I wear that jersey too. No, I was with you one time. I visited Chicago one time. You and the boys, maybe I don't know, 4 or 5 years ago, and we're walking down to like our spot at River East, and I'm walking out with you guys, and the guy doing the tour bus in Chicago, the red tour bus in Chicago goes, "Hey, Jackie Moon," and I was like, "Yes, this guy gets it." And that made me so happy that he knew that movie because it's not really a well known movie. I think there's for sure a cult following, cult classic following for it now, but it's not one of his well known movies or more successful movies in his career. But man, Semi Pro to me is one of the funniest movies of all time, and will probably my favorite Will Ferrell movie because man, it holds up so well. Yeah, also 15 years later, and it went under the radar how funny it is. So for me, again, Semi Pro is probably my favorite Will Ferrell movie. But to you, my friend, your turn.
Okay, I'm gonna start with Will Ferrell. Um, my homies probably listening to this and being like, "Ugh, Will Ferrell." She, they don't like Will Ferrell. But anyways, me and you both grew up on Will Ferrell. I love Will Ferrell thoroughly. Like he was in so many movies that we had on DVD in my house, you know.
Yeah.
And I think one of my, I have to go with an obvious one, which is Talladega Nights, which you quoted yesterday, in
Yes,
text.
sir. Yes, sir. I did.
I have to go with Talladega Nights. It's a hilarious movie if you haven't seen it. A lot of people have. It did so well, but it's a hilarious movie making fun of like sort of NASCAR, you know, NASCAR, you know, NASCAR Nation. You know what I mean? Like obviously you're saying it's not making where it's just like it's insanity of like how like a NASCAR driver is like this really country dude who is not super smart, and he's like the best NASCAR driver ever, and like then he goes through a lot of bad shit where this is it, and go back to home and like figure out who he is, and learn how to just become the NASCAR driver he was again. And it's just hilarious. John C. Riley's in it, who is just also just as funny as Will Ferrell is, and it's fucking hilarious. And what was it? We quote that movie a lot too.
We do. We
I
really
love it,
do.
you know what I mean? Like it's like if you're not first, you're last, and
Yes.
it's
Take a make.
just it's sugar bake,
Make.
sugar
Make.
bake. But yeah, that movie is so great. It's if you're looking for a movie to settle down at night and just like laugh your ass off and just go to sleep, laugh, feeling good and happy, like that is definitely the movie for you. I still highly loved, and that was hard to pick between the other guys and Step Brothers. So those are
Yeah.
just that. But one of my favorite things he's in is was it the car sales movie? Was it The Goods?
Oh, the goods. Very yeah, he produced that one too. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah, and he's
Very
in it.
underrated
He's
movie.
like, where he's like, he has this crazy white hair. He's like saying crazy shit. That shit's fucking hilarious.
It's really
So
funny.
yeah, it's fucking so funny, dude. I love it so much. All right, and now to Jamie Foxx, a beloved man in my whole family. I don't think there's one person that dislikes Jamie Foxx in my
I
family.
agree.
Um, it it was an easy choice. It was Ray for me. The movie where he plays Ray Charles and does just a phenomenal job, but also shows just the insane amount of talent that he has. You know what I mean? Just showing one Ray Charles' story and also Ray Charles' talent, but also his own talent as well, Jamie Foxx. And he did such a really good representation of Ray Charles. And I'm pretty sure before, like, when he was doing the movie, he got to meet Ray Charles and talk to him and learn who he was as a person. So and I love old music like that, like Ray Charles, Stevie Wonder. I love music so much like that. So if you love old school music or or you've heard of Ray Charles, don't know much about him, fucking watch that movie. It's so great, and you'll continue to fall in love more with Ray Charles's music. So highly suggest that. Um, those are my two movies. Yeah.
Yeah, got Jimmy Foxx's Oscar, and that was the same year
Yes.
he got nominated twice, once for Ray and then once for Collateral. So he get nominated for best actor and best supporting actor. And again, man, it shows how talented this man is. Like this man really is just
Yes.
on a new level of talent. And again, whether it's
Yeah.
comedy, dramatic stuff, really he really goes above and beyond. And again, I'm really glad he's doing better. 'Cause remember, I was scared, man, that when I heard about his health thing, I was
Yeah.
like, oh my God. I was like, no, 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 not Jimmy Foxx of all people, but
Not yet. Not yet.
please, not yet, not yet. And what I've heard too, man, like people that work with him to say he's the most nicest guy, most gracious guy in the world too. So it's cool saying that someone that you admire lives up to his name. So it's like I love hearing that. I love what he does for the Down syndrome community as well. So Jimmy Fox,
Yeah.
man, you're the man. But
Yeah.
yeah,
Also, honorable mention. This was his role in the Ali movie. He did great there.
oh yeah, that's
And
right.
I really did like the movie Day Shift. Not gonna lie, I was a sucker
I
for
did
that
too.
movie.
I did
I
too.
really liked it. I feel like a lot it's under. I feel like it's underrated. A lot of people didn't really
I agree.
watch it, but like it's a really good movie. I think they had a real good premise, and he did such a great job. So
And
check that
also,
movie out. It's on Netflix.
our own Moses Law. It was a PA in that movie. He worked on that movie.
Hey, shout out to
Yeah,
Moses.
but Moses, man, that was cool. Yeah, it's Chad Stahelski who did John Wick produced produced that movie. That was very, very underrated. It came out, kind of went too, but it's a
Yeah,
shame. It's a shame. But
such a
yeah,
shame.
man, take
All
us home, my
right,
friend.
all right. This is where we close out. But before we do, Doug, go ahead and plug yourself.
All right, guys. As always, you can find the show on Instagram and TikTok at Midway Avenue Productions. Our website is midwayavenueproductions.com. We have all our like about us, our podcast links in there. Our Instagram page also has a link tree to Joel's Twitch, to links to all of our podcasts and YouTube channels, also to Moses' film as well as Nick's film. Check that out. You can find my personal Instagram, which is the all one the Young Jones. I'm doing kind of more kind of like stuff like my quick reactions on there as well as on Twitter or whatever it's called now, X, at Capri_Sun SON. Also doing more like out of theater reactions and kind of stuff like that on like quick thoughts on Twitter/X. And as always, you can find the show, find our audio show too on our YouTube channel. Again, youtube.com/Midway Avenue Productions.
All right. You could follow me on Twitch, Instagram, and TikTok. I have not uploaded to TikTok or Instagram yet. I still need things to be able to record my live streams. But yeah, you can follow me for updates and stuff like that. Eventually, I will post to those things. I promise. I promise. Just need money to, make money to. You gotta spend money to make money and da da da. So, but before I can spend money, I gotta make money. Anyways, you you can follow me on everything at the OG Cuban Rican. Uh, especially on Twitch, I am constantly streaming as much as I can, especially different games that people really don't play or game, just any games, stories, multiplayer. I'm trying to do it all, especially September coming up. There's 3 games coming to Game Pass, which is Payday 3, The Lies of P, and Starfield. I will be playing those with friends or by myself. So definitely stop by, check it out, follow so I can grow more and share me. And then, later on this year, there's two. This is for the Warhammer community. If you're listening to this, uh, there's 2 games coming to game. Well, there's 1 game coming to Game Pass, which is really big, which is Warhammer 40K Dark Tide. That's eventually coming to Game Pass some point this year. And then during the winter, Space Marines 2, the video game. I'm buying that. Definitely pre-ordering it when I can. I'll be playing that hopefully with 2 other of my homies, but if not, I'll play it by myself. I don't give a shit. So yeah, definitely, follow me on Twitch. I'm not big enough to have you subscribe on Twitch, sadly. Yet, maybe in the future. And before I close this out, please do like, follow, and subscribe on anything that you are listening to us on, please, and share us. We're trying to grow bigger. We're trying to find more people like you guys and girls and women and men, blah, 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 and people that like-minded who will either agree with us or disagree with us and just, that truly do love movies and have an interest. We love you guys. We hit 10K. I don't know what number we're at now. Probably more. But 10K, which was such a crazy thing for us. So I want to say thank you guys. We love you guys so much. Like, we're growing so fast. Like, to us, it's so fast and it's so crazy. You know what I mean? Where it's like 10,000 people listening to us. ramble on. So, we love you guys. And to people who are coming in and just listening to us, please follow if you like us. All right? Whatever. But yeah, I'm going to close this out, which is thank you for coming on this autorial journey with us through our opinions, our thoughts, our views, and our constant ramblings about what we think about movies and shows and actors and then the entertainment industry. This is a lot of fun for us, and so we thank you guys so much for being here and enjoying it with us. We hope you have a good night, day, evening, dinner, weekend, week. We love y'all. Tell someone you love them. Hug people you love. And add some motherfucking movies to your movie list. And once in a while, once every week or so, watch one of those movies. Anyways, have a good life. Stay safe. And we'll be back next week. Deuces.